Hello, what's up guys? I'm Kyle from KGR, and today we're going to be doing a review on the brand new SH Figuarts Naruto and Sasuke figures. These figures have been highly anticipated from Naruto action figure community. SH Figuarts has done a Naruto line in the past, and it started very rough, and it got better, but it got more expensive over time and it didn't sell as well, so it just killed the line. But over the years between that ending and this beginning, they improved their action figures a lot. So we're getting a nice reboot, and they're starting off with us finally giving us the full Team 7 that we've always wanted. We're starting off with Naruto and Sasuke, we're getting Sakura very shortly for the first time in SH Figuarts, and then we're also getting Kakashi starting in December. I've collected every Naruto SH Figuarts since the original release, so I've been through all the good and bad. So for this review, I'm going to be pointing out the major changes and improvements they made to these figures and directly compare them to the older figures. And we're going to be doing both of these figure reviews back to back, baby, so that's going to be cool. And of course, when Sakura, Kakashi, and who else ends up being released, if you want to see those reviews, make sure you sub. I'll be doing reviews on all of those. They did release a Madara figure for San Diego Comic-Con, but it's based on the old mold of the original SH Figuarts run. Believe me, it's not worth picking up. They're going to most likely make a much better Madara later, so just wait for that to happen. Don't worry about this new one. But let's open these bad boys up and take a closer look. But before I do, I want to ask you guys a quick question of the day. Since we've gotten remakes of these two, as well as we're getting Kakashi on the way, what SH Figuarts that we currently have in Naruto that you want to see remade? I would love for Rock Lee to be redone, because he is a very cool character, and they did that figure mostly well, but the way the neck was set up was overly complicated on like swapping it out to go to the unlocked gates. I forget exactly how it's called, but when he like goes to like the 8 inner gates and like he turns absolutely red, you can do that with the SH Figuarts, and it's so cool. But the way they did the neck was absolutely atrocious. I want to see them massively improve that. But besides that, that was a very solid figure, and I'm excited to see how much they improve it, because with Kakashi, they're adding a lot of realism to it with a bunch of wrinkles on his clothes. So I'm excited to see how massively improved these figures are going to be over the years. But anyway, I'm sorry for wasting enough time. Let's open these up. And let's go over the King of Ninja Ways himself, Naruto. Now, they've done so much to improve this figure, and I love it all so much. Like they added the detail, like the different strands of hair in each spike. They didn't need to do that, but I love the way that looks so much. But I want to go over quickly on what all the improvements they've done for this figure. Number one, they added a much better ab crunch, and they made this piece down here be more of a floater. Now, Naruto always had baggy clothes, so this being a floater is kind of emphasizing on that, and it allows him to do a much better ab crunch. Without moving his legs, he's able to bend about that much, which isn't perfect, but it's still much, much better compared to what we've gotten previously. And he's able to bend back about that far as well. And another thing they've done is they actually made it really nice on like hiding some of the joints in here, or like the gaps in here, to make it look more like a more flowing mold. They changed the way that the headband as well as his little armband has been painted. The later ones that have come out did have a nice gray paint to it, but this has a nice metallic shine to it. Same thing with the armband. The armband hasn't had this metallic shine before, and it looks so much nicer. And they added much better bicep swivels up here, so it's easier to move his arm around. They also swapped out the knees. Now, the knees they put in now is kind of similar to how they were since the very beginning of the Naruto SH Figuarts line, but these overall look really clean. And at first, I didn't really like the way this looked all that much, but it works. It looks fine. There's one change they've done that I'm kind of mixed on myself, and it's the way they did the headband. Now, with the other Naruto figures, the only thing that you could do with the headband was be able to just spin it. You couldn't really bring it out all that much. You were able to bring it out a little bit, but not much at all. But with this is strictly on a hinge, so you're able to pull it up about that high, and it does look really nice. But unfortunately, that's the most you can do with that headband. I kind of miss being able to rotate it, so it can look more windswept from the side, but that's whatever. And also another thing they improved on was here they actually added an extra piece of hair. So the hair, this is actually a separate mold and now was attached to the neck. But when you move his head up, it doesn't hinder his articulation at all for moving his head up. And if you move his head down, it doesn't break the mold at all. So they've done a fantastic job reviving this Naruto. When it comes to his face paints, I've noticed with a couple of faces, although it's not very accurate compared to the source material, it does look fantastic. It definitely adds new life and makes it look very refreshing on this figure. However, I feel they're going to improve the way the face paints look over time, and we're going to look back at it and think, wow, this is not very accurate. But during this time that we have it now, it looks fantastic. But I have a feeling they're going to improve it even more. But there's two faces in particular I feel they nailed, and we'll get into that later. But since I got two reviews to do at the same time, normally I would show off everything individually when it comes to accessories. But I'm just going to show you everything all at once just so I can get the review going a little bit better. Now here is the rest of his accessories. We got multiple different faces. These two faces up here in particular, the shocked face and the nine-tailed fox rage, those I feel are like the coolest things they added to this, and I love the detail in this face in particular. Actually, let's put that on Naruto real quick so I can actually show you why I love it so much. And in case you're wondering if you had the older Naruto SH Figuarts and you want to put those faces on this new body, sadly you can't do that. The way the pegs are on his face are actually positioned differently compared to the older figures, so they're not going to be able to fit in at all. But anyway, if you look at this face, you can see the lines they add to his nose, to under his eyes, to really like bring that attention to detail to his face. They haven't really done that with other Naruto SH Figuarts that I've noticed before, so this is very nice to see. The crossed arms is a nice effect, but here it is like two separate pieces. So if you put them on, I notice when it's on, I have a somewhat hard time getting them tucked back into each other for some reason. So I kind of wish it was just like stuck together. I'm almost debating on super gluing it, but every collector who's watching is saying, no, don't do that. That's stupid. And I also want to take a closer look at the Rasengan piece right here. Now, this I feel is one of the more accurate Rasengans we've gotten in Naruto. We still have a separate hand that actually has a peg hole instead of a peg, and then we just peg the Rasengan into the hand. Now, we've gotten many Rasengans over the years, whether it be from different forms of Naruto, with, not Jiraiya. Actually, no, Jiraiya has one, I'm pretty sure. Then we got one from Minato, and we got one from Boruto. This, I feel, is the most accurate Rasengan. Because if we pull out another Naruto figure that you can actually get today at Target, this is the Best Selections Naruto. You can see how it adds different spiraling effects, which, don't get me wrong, it looks dynamic and it looks great. But when you think of a Naruto Rasengan, you don't think about this. You think about a small ball like this. So this is perfect. However, I personally kind of like the older faces a little bit more. Like, at least mainly the way the eyes are shaped. I don't know, I feel like it captures the anime a little bit better. But I'm not saying that these new faces on this new Naruto are bad. They are their own unique thing for the most part, but I think they look fantastic. Especially when you swap it out with like the screaming face, for example. The way the eyes are shaped in this, I don't know, there's something about this face I love so much. I don't think it's too anime accurate, but man, does it look good. I love it so much. And as you can tell, we get a set of open hands, a set of jutsu hands, a set of gripping hands, and one kunai. And we got the shouting face, the smiling face, we got Nine Tails Rage over here, a funny shocked face, and a neutral face. I personally wish that they would have came with a little bit more. Like, I wish he would have came with like a face where his eyes are closed and he's smiling. I feel like that's such an iconic Naruto face that needs to come in the future. And I wish he would have came with more natural, relaxed hands instead of these wide open ones. But keep in mind, they also got to keep this figure at a low price point because the main gimmick in Naruto is his shadow clones. So if they keep them cheap enough at like $35, it's easier for you to buy more of these guys to add to your collection. So with Naruto lacking in accessories, there's a reason why they do that, and I understand. But let's quickly compare him to the Best Selections Naruto. This is going to be the newest Naruto that you can get right now very easily. When it comes to his butterfly joints over here, like, they're mostly the same when it comes to the range, but you can tell that his armband detail is definitely much better on this new figure. And you can see the difference in the headbands as well. You can see it's just overall sculpted better, painted better, and it's definitely a lot more accurate. I like the finish on the Rasengan on this guy, but again, it's definitely a lot more accurate with this guy right here. With the bottom of the torso being a solid piece right here, you can see there's not much ab range, but he can still do a lot of great dynamic poses. It's just he looks a little bit more stiff in comparison to this new one. He could definitely look a lot more dynamic and more alive. And throughout all the Naruto SH figure arts, their hair color is always inconsistent. Sometimes they're much brighter, sometimes they're darker. I feel they captured Naruto's look very well with this new figure. But again, I'm not saying that these ones are bad, it's just they've been massively improved. However, if you don't have a Naruto figure already and you're gonna start collecting, I wouldn't recommend going for the older ones. Although I do like the way they kind of look, you're much better off with these guys over here. Unless you want to get both, I won't stop you, then go for it. But I'm just saying this one is a much better improvement. You can also see how the legs are much skinnier on the older one as well. And you can see better detail in where the kunai is held. You can see that the pouch sticks out a lot more on the newer figure because it's attached to his coat. But personally, I kind of like it more on this one, but that's fine. And you can see how the backs, like where that little spiral, look completely different as well. I'm not sure which one looks better. I think they both look great. But as you can tell, like, yeah, you can't really bring this headband up all that much at all. It's mainly just rotating. But I like the look of like a windswept headband versus just going out. I wish they could have made it rotate as well as stick out like this. I also wish Naruto would have came with thumbs ups as well. He definitely could have came up with thumbs ups. However, if you do have the older Naruto SH figure arts, the hands do fit on this new one no problem. So putting on those kind of hands is not going to be that kind of an issue because they're on the other figures. But if you're starting fresh with this one, yeah, you're gonna be lacking some accessories. And also the feet. Look at them feet. They look so different. It's so weird. I didn't think about it having this, but like, this one is so much more puny in comparison to the new one. Holy crap. Hi, future KGR here, editing this video. I forgot to bring up the fact that I made a community tab post asking you guys if you had any questions about the figures that you want me to answer. And Super Shaddix Boom asked if Naruto and Sasuke are finally gonna kiss. And the other question was if I can compare the Naruto and Sasuke to the other figures. So here comes that. And here's every Naruto SH figure arts that's come out in order when they were released. We got the very rough one, and we go from here to here to here to here. So as you can tell, over the years, they've definitely gotten better. And you can also see I don't need to buy any more Narutos because I already have enough shadow clones. I feel the sculpt looks cleaner on this one because there's not as much like extra pieces being done here, but it is overall such a better figure. I love the hair on all the other ones as well because I feel it captures the anime much easier. And I've also been playing the Naruto Storm games again, so those models do age quite a bit. But when I was talking about the legs earlier, I was talking about how like there's a noticeable gap that you could see, and you could definitely see it on the bottom over here. So you can definitely see how much they improved from going from all four of these to this guy. It's definitely gotten better over the years. Now let's go over Sasuke. And here comes the Edgelord Sasuke. Now, with this Sasuke, it is the best Sasuke figure I think we've ever gotten. There have been 2 releases of Sasuke before this one, and they were both very, very flawed. But this is amazing. Now, I'm a little bit of a fanboy of Sasuke because I just love his design so much, especially the hair. They nailed the hair so well on this figure. I love this figure so much. The face is captured so well, and the shading on like his little skirt piece is so fantastic as well. The only thing I don't like about this figure is the fact that the emblem on his back is etched in and then painted on. Because if we pull in the other figures, we got the first Sasuke right here where the emblem is too small. And then we got the second Sasuke over here where there's no outline around his emblem. Even though they're both kind of flawed, the printings themselves look fantastic and they stick out really well compared to how this is painted here. It's a much darker shade of paint for both the red and the white, and I believe if it was just painted on instead of sculpted on and then painted, I think it would stick out even more. I think it would look a whole lot cleaner in comparison, but it's fine, I guess. And I just realized now that Sasuke has a pouch back here and the other ones don't. That's weird. Now with this one, this is the first release. As you could tell on this one, now keep in mind, this is a genuine figure. There is no shading on his skirting at all, and he came relatively late. The biggest flaw with these figures is the fact that the skirting on this one wasn't very flexible. Like, it should have been made out of much softer plastic, and with this one I feel like it's even stiffer. So this was a very disappointing release. So going with this Sasuke, the first thing I checked was the skirting, and as you can tell, it is very, very flexible. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I don't want to say I was ready to cry, but I had such the biggest sigh of relief and happiness knowing that this was soft, because SH Figuarts can be very flawed sometimes. Although they're part of the top dogs when it comes to figure collecting, they definitely screw up a lot. So even though my nitpick with this is there, everything else, and also the paint on his chest doesn't fully match the rest of his skin tone because this is painted on while the rest of this is molded. But anyway, this is the perfect Sasuke figure. Like, if you're a Sasuke fan or if you never got a Sasuke figure before, don't even worry about these guys. This one is amazing. I'd only say really pick up this one up if you really want to redo that Itachi scene, which both of those figures are so expensive now. Just wait until they re-release it. Or just wait until they release Itachi, because I'm actually excited to see how they're going to remake some of these characters, especially Itachi. Because Itachi had to get two complete redesigns before they finally made a solid figure. And even then, people were still upset by it. And even though the torso doesn't look all that pretty, again, it gives you that full ab crunch. Which, by the way, for the first time, you can actually make Sasuke sit down. But because of the skirting the way it is a little bit difficult to make him balance while sitting down. But if you see in these pictures right here, although it took me a little bit of effort, I did manage to get him to sit, and I'm very, very proud of that. But again, can we just admire his face? Just look at that. Oh, I love this figure so much. But for some reason, they also made the knots articulated. I don't understand why they had to do that, but okay. And let's take a quick look at his accessories as well. So we get a massive multitude of hands. Some of them I don't even think are even all that necessary. And then we get a different variety of the swords, where we get the unsheathed sword, the sheath sword, the sheath, as well as a partial release. And then we get this swappable piece right here, which let me show you that real quick. Then also we get these faces. I'm probably going to swap it out for this face right here. This is like the one I have on when I put him on the shelf. And then we also get the one face with the Rinnegan. I kind of wish we would have had a more of a neutral Rinnegan face as well. Or I remember JM Animation actually said in his review how I wish we could have gotten like a bleeding eye with the Mangekyo Sharingan, which that'd be cool to see, but hopefully they release that if they redo the Itachi and Sasuke release. Well, let me show you guys how he looks with the Rinnegan, or Sharingan, I'm sorry, the Sharingan in. Look at that. And again, like, they add all the lines around the eyes to really grab that attention to detail, and plus the Sharingan itself also looks fantastic. Like, this Sasuke just turned out so good. There's a reason he's as expensive as he is. He's definitely worth it. But here on the back of him, you can take out this piece to actually swap it out for this guy. This is where you're actually going to be able to peg in the sheath. However, if you try to rotate it, you can stress this piece. It is rubbery, but it is easily stressable. So like, if you're gonna reposition it, I'd recommend actually pulling it out and then positioning it the way you want and then plug it in. But even if you do line this up correctly, it's not going to sit very flush. And it's really weird how it's also a different shade of purple in comparison to this, because these are made of different things. This is more rubbery and the rest is plastic. And even I feel like ripping it out as much as you do, like, I feel like that's gonna stress on it as well. So I kind of question the longevity of this. However, by the time that this may break on you, I'm pretty sure bootlegs of this figure will come out anyway. So just buy a bootleg one or swap that piece out and you'll be fine. Although I don't have the other Sasuke's accessories on me, the one thing I want to bring to your attention is this Chidori piece. Now, all 3 Sasuke's have Chidoris, which good, because Kakashi doesn't have anything like that. Now, the way they do the Chidori on the new Sasuke is actually different compared to the other ones. Now, you would have a hand that's just like that, okay? And then they would have the Chidori actually wrap around that as 2 separate pieces. With this, instead, they just have it as a peg hole. So you just plug it in, and you're good. I'm a little bit mixed on that in particular, because although it looks fantastic and it holds a whole of a lot better compared to the old design, I don't know, I'm gonna miss the fact that like you actually do have his hand under there, or I kind of wish his hand was sculpted in there, you know? But because of the way it's painted as well, you would have a hard time seeing the hand anyway. But like, it's like the magician knowing the illusion, not having the same amount of wow factor compared to the person who doesn't know the magic behind the trick, you know? I mean, that's the way I see it. But yeah, there's no hindrance in this at all. It's so nice. You can pose him any way you need to. Oh man, it's so good. I love this figure so much. But anyway, let's like get the sword and stuff on him. And then this plugs in only one way. Bring that back here. There we go. We're gonna take out this fist. First, we're gonna slide this thing on here, if we can do that. There we go. And my favorite thing is I've always wanted to do a pose like this, not even with the sword coming out, but just him just reaching behind his back to be able to like grab his sword. But with the old Figuarts design, since you weren't able to really flex this or move this any way you would need to, it would be pretty much impossible to do. And he wasn't flexible enough to like pull it out from the angle that it's stuck in on this one. Now this is how I have him on my shelf. Doesn't he look menacing? I love him so much. I love this figure. Like, this one's definitely worth picking up. You gotta get Sasuke. But like, although like this Sasuke looks fine enough too. And this one used to be my favorite. Like, I just love this outfit design. This one just blows it out of the water. Like his collar isn't up so high and looking as ridiculous. And it's funny how there's shading on this one, but not on a newer release later. Like, why? But as you can tell, the hair doesn't look as good, but it still looked fine at the time. But like this one, now that we have a nice standard, it's nice. You can see with the other 2 figures, there is like a bluer hue. I'm not sure how well the camera's gonna pick it up, but definitely in person, there's a little bit of blue in the hair. You don't really get that here on this figure. Whether that's a good or a bad thing is completely up to you. I personally liked a little bit of blue hue in the hair, but this figure just looks perfect. And just like Naruto that we saw earlier, he has a little piece of like hair on his neck. So moving his head up, well, the collar is going to hinder his articulation, but the hair is not going to break the mold when you move his head around. And you can see we got like 2 type of biceps levels here, where you could rotate it from the collar or rotate it from the elbow, or at least above the elbow. Yeah, this figure, he just looks so solid. I love him so much. Like, you can hate Sasuke as a character, that's completely fine and valid, but his design, oh my god, I love him as a figure. So what's the verdict? I like the Naruto figure a lot, but I absolutely love Sasuke. I'm excited to see how Sakura turns out, but there's no comparisons to other figures because it's going to be the first SH Figuarts that actually has come out finally. But I'm so excited to see where this line goes. But I'm also scared because if it's going to be like Dragon Ball Z, there's going to be releases like every month. There's going to be so many con exclusives, and I don't want to deal with that. But if they don't do that, then yo, I'm so down for this line. This is going to be so exciting. If you never picked up any of the older figures, don't worry about the older figures. From the first impression that we see with these figures, this is definitely a much bigger improvement. And I'm excited to see how the other figures get improved when they remake those, or any of the new figures they're going to release in this line as well. SH Figuarts really stepped up their game, and they're killing it. so far. I'm really excited to see where this line goes. But let me know in the comments, do you plan on picking this up yourself? Because these figures are definitely the best Naruto figures we've gotten in a very long time. And that's it for the video, so if you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. In the description is going to be my social media, especially my Instagram if you like action figure photography. And again, thank you so much for watching the video. And if you want to see more Naruto action figure reviews coming out for Sakura, Kakashi, and God knows who else that comes out, make sure you sub. And again, thank you for watching. I love you guys to death, and I'll see you on the next one, so peace.